What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Colin here with Cowabunga Gaming, doing your weekly gaming news updates. Now, as for whoever the heck follows me, you guys know that every week I do a update, just to give you guys a idea of what's been going on and what will be going on. Now, last week I finished up Fallout 4 Far Harbor, so that game is completely uploaded. The playlist is completely done. It's all ready to go. And then I've also been uploading Deus Ex. Now, I do have the game beat. I beat it last week, but I still have quite a bit of uploads to go through to, get it out to you guys. So I'll be doing the rest of those uploads this week. And then also on Saturday, I had my first uploads of Fallout 4 Nuka World go live on the channel. So this week is going to be more uploads of Deus Ex because I got to finish the playlist for you guys. Fallout 4 Nuka World. And then today is the very much anticipated BioShock Collection. I cannot wait to play this tonight. So sometime tonight, I cannot tell you guys when. It'll be more than likely the first video for BioShock probably will not go up until like after midnight. Just because of, stuff I got to do for the day. I still have some errands I still have to run. I don't feel like it, but I have to. What was I going to say? I still have errands to run. Obviously, I'm making this video for you guys right now because I got to do this, and then I got to upload this. And then there's a part in Nuka World that I'm on right now that I want to finish really quick. And then I'm going to swap over to BioShock and start BioShock. Okay, guys? And then that will be this week. So this week is Deus Ex, Fallout 4 Nuka World, BioShock. And then next week, on Tuesday, is the release of Dear Esther. And it's a heavy narrative story-driven game. I'm going to be playing that because I love those types of games. That's why I played like Firewatch. That's why I played Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. I love games like that. Also the game that's on my channel called Assemblance. That game was like that. I loved it. It was freaky. Now, then 2 days later on the 22nd, September 22nd, is the release of a game called Virginia. It is a murder mystery, and the thing that I found out about it, there's no talking in the game. The characters, I guess, don't talk. There's just, they point at stuff, they make faces, they go, and that's kind of it. There is music in the background, of course, but there's no talking. So we're still going to play it because I think that's interesting, and we're going to see how the game handles that. So we're going to be playing that. And then also remember, September 27th is the release of Episode 5 for Hitman, and we are going to Colorado. And this time around, we have to take out 4 targets. Normally, it's only 2 targets. This time, they're bumping it up, and they're giving us 4 to take out. So it's definitely going to make things more chaotic, which is fun. And that is all the gaming updates that I have right now. So let's hop into this week's news. Okay, guys. Sorry. Hold on 1 second. One memento. Alright. Resident Evil 2 was undergoing a fan remake before Capcom officially announced the development of its own. That project was then abandoned. And now the fan remake developer is creating a new game with the help of former Capcom designer Satoshi Nakaya, who worked on Resident Evil 0 and Code Veronica. Developer Invader Studios released an announcement trailer for Daymare 1998, a third-person survival horror game akin to Resident Evil 4. It's obviously inspired by Resident Evil 2, with the setting looking quite a bit like Raccoon City, and the game year also being the classic survival horror game. The when they did, what's the word I'm looking for, man? I'm blanking out on it. When they first announced the trailer for it, which was in 1998. The trailer features the phrase "Survival Horror is Reborn," which is a nod to the fan remake title Resident Evil 2 Reborn. Invader says Daymare will feature a multi-character storyline full of references to 90s pop culture and horror movies. It also noted that your favorite survival horror nightmares are back to haunt you, such as limited save points. Oh god, I hate limited save points. I am so bad at games like that. Oh man, that game would haunt me. Hopefully Daymare does more than rely on outdated system and mechanics to make itself scary. It added that there would be also more enemies than ammunition. Oh, goody! I love games that are like that. They make me want to frickin' pull the rest of my hair out. Daymare 1998 is set to release for PC, but no release date has been announced. You can check out... sorry. Ignore that part. Okay, Capcom's official Resident Evil 2 remake was announced last year and is rebuilt from the ground up. We haven't heard much else about the project since its announcement. We've heard plenty about Resident Evil 7, however, which is set to release for PS4, Xbox One, and PC on January 24th, 2017. I figured for those who are, PC gamers, I figured you guys might be interested in that. I am not a PC gamer because, well, I don't have a PC to game with. I am strictly PS4 because I do not have a Xbox One either because I can't afford to go out and get an Xbox One. Because if I had the extra money, I would have another console. I would have an Xbox One. Because Gears of War 4 is coming out, and I absolutely loved that game series. I loved all of them, so I would be playing that in a heartbeat, but I can't. The game Recore came out today. I would have played that as well. And then there's a game coming out like pirates and stuff. I'm forgetting what it's called now. Sea of Thieves, I think is what it's called. I would be playing that. But I do not have the money put aside to get a Xbox One. I wish I did, but I don't. I mean, I just had to get my TV fixed again for the third time. Because I don't know what keeps happening, but my LEDs keep blowing out. I don't know why. They just do. And it's the third time now that I've had to take my TV to go get it repaired. It's highly annoying. So, I'm going to repair it this one last time. But for a birthday/Christmas present, I'm going to be asking for a new TV. So, we'll see where that goes. Because it's... my TV has blown out now 3 times in the span of 4 months. That's ridiculous. It shouldn't be doing that. But for whatever reason it is. So right now it's at the repair shop again. And it's kind of funny because I've taken it in there now being the third time. The guy actually gave me a break on the price to repair it. He's like, "Oh, you're back with your TV again. Needing it fixed." Like, shut up, dude. Don't judge me. It's not my fault. Or maybe it is my fault. I don't know. I have no idea. But sorry, anyways. Got off track there. Next thing we're going over. Hideo Kojima has revealed a little more information on his mysterious upcoming game, Death Stranding. Speaking at Sony PlayStation's pre-Tokyo Game Show keynote presentation earlier today, Kojima revealed the meaning behind the game's title and logo. According to Kojima, the game's logo isn't dripping ink or liquid. The trails we see beneath the letters are in fact chords. He went on to explain that the theme of the game is about how people are connected by strands, hence the title of the game, Death Stranding. He revealed that the game will be in the action genre and that it will be open world with a degree of freedom. Death Stranding will also have online elements. Kojima spoke of his wish to give gamers a way to be connected via these strands or elements that are different to the usual multiplayer teams. In addition, the developer confirmed that Death Stranding will be available in 4K resolution and support HDR. He will be in attendance at Tokyo Game Show on September 18th, where he hopes to reveal more information that we couldn't talk about today. Death Stranding was first announced at E3 this year via a surprise appearance from Kojima himself, behind a rather unique trailer. We don't know much else about the game other than that it will be released for PlayStation 4 and PC. Kojima has said that the game will be the best he's ever made, confident that he will not have to make compromises. Okay, I think that's it for that. Okay, let's go to the last thing I got for you guys. Hopefully my recording is doing well at the moment, because actually I had already recorded, granted I didn't record the whole thing, I recorded a good chunk of it, but something happened with my microphone and the video. The microphone, anyways, the microphone was cutting out really bad, and I don't know why. And then the video was speeding me up to where I was talking like I was sucking up helium or something. I sounded like a freaking chipmunk. I don't know why it did that, but it did. Hopefully it's not doing that this time. Don't do it this time, because I got shit to do. Alright, let's see where we are. And speak of the devil. Speak of the devil and he shall appear. Ugh. How Recore evolved from its anime-style roots. Action platforming game Recore has gone through multiple changes since its inception with Concept and Armature Studios. The Xbox One and PC exclusive stars the character Jolie Adams, a volunteer who wakes up alone on a failed colony nearly a decade after it has fallen apart. The game takes several inspirations from the past works of its lead developers, Keiji Inafune, Mega Man, from Concept and Mark Pacini, Jack Matthews, and Todd Keller, Metroid Prime, from Armature Studios, with gameplay centering around elements of puzzle solving and platforming. With the game launching worldwide today, GameSpot spoke to Microsoft Senior Creative Director / writer Joseph Staten about the challenges of developing a game of multiple studios across the world, how Recore has evolved from its heavy Japanese influence, and why the game is described as semi-open world. GameSpot, remember this is the interview person. From my understanding, the game is being made across 2 different studios at different locations. Could you please explain the logistics of how that works and how the arrangement came about? Stanton. It's actually even a little bit more complicated or exciting than the 2 studios. The project came to us initially from Concept. Keiji Inafune's team in Japan and the team at Armature Studios down in Austin, Texas. Microsoft got the pitch from them sort of at end of 23, early 2014. As it progressed and became something really special, Microsoft decided to invest more in the title, at which point they brought on not just additional funding for Concept and Armature, but brought in some outside help just to supplement those two studios, which are relatively small production houses. So we brought in a Sobo studio, a team in France, to help with some of the world design and enemy characters. We also brought in Goldtooth, a cinematic house in Vancouver, who did the performance capture cinematics. In the end, Recore became an even more multi-team international game, but the heart and soul of it is absolutely the team of Concept and the team of Armature. Okay, interview person. What sort of culture differences did you encounter, especially with the Japanese game industry being quite different than the industry in the West? When Inafune originally pitched the game to us along with Mark Piscini, it wasn't called Recore at the time. But what became Recore was much more influenced by manga and hold on, and anime in its art style. Sorry guys, the word looked funky. Julie herself was very stylish in that anime way. When we started to look at it and talk to people about it and do some focus testing with the game, it became clear that if we wanted to broaden Recore's appeal, that we needed to take that same great anime and manga influence and tweak it, just so that it was a little more accessible to people who weren't anime fans. And although Julie's representation in the game changed over time, there were some things about her that remained consistent throughout the whole development process. Her color palette, her trademark scarf and hat and goggles. All those things remained very much the same, but just the way she was drawn and the style in the game was different. Her robot companions, the Corebots, still retain a lot of that same original charm, just the way that they're shaped. From outsized proportions to some of the details of their bodies. I would say that was probably the biggest thing that we worked through throughout the process. How do we take a game with an initial version or vision that was very heavily shaped by Japanese influences and turn that into something which could appeal more broadly around the world? But everyone on the team was really on board with that. We wanted Recore to appeal as broadly as possible, so those were happy challenges to work through. Speaking of those robot companions that travel with Jolie, are they characters who players will form relationships with and have stories of their own, or will they serve more as tools to the action? The characters are absolutely vital to gameplay. They are really the tools that Jolie uses not to just fight in the world, but also to explore the world as well. So, taking Mac, the name of the blue core, if you put Mac or any of the cores into a dog frame, it will have a certain number of attacks in combat that are different according to the core. If Mac is in the dog frame, it is able to do stunning electrical attacks, which is the personality of Mac. He's very cheerful and sparking. Whereas if you put the red core named Duncan into the dog frame, he can do fiery flame attacks because Duncan is very angry and stubborn. I like it. At the same time, the dog frame has important out-of-combat functions too. First and foremost is his ability to track and dig up items that are hidden under the ground. Indeed, all the frames have combat abilities and out-of-combat abilities, but they're just guns that Jolie puts in her hand. Each of them has their own personality, their charming behaviors, their animation set. We really wanted to make these tools full of charm and personality. Jolie starts off the story with just one Corebot. Right away, they have a very close bond, and the initial story is about a little adventure between Jolie and Mac. As she meets these other Corebots over time, she's introduced to these personalities. They have their own backstories in the world. Jolie's alone, except for these Corebots. They become a little group of adventurers, like a little family. Long story short, I would say that they're critical to combat. A lot of the crafting, upgrading, and player progression happens with the Corebots. You spend more of your time upgrading them than Jolie. But these Corebots really are characters that drive the story forward as well. And then question is, do they talk? Answer, I don't know if you're familiar with the TV show Lassie with the dog. Yes, I am. So Lassie would run up to someone and bark, and the little boy would say, "What's that, Lassie? Is someone trapped down a well?" And he would be able to initiate what Lassie was trying to tell him. Or intuit. The same is true of Jolie. She's able to understand the Corbot's language, which we call Digamote. Sounds a little bit like R2D2 from Star Wars, bleeps and bloops. Jolie can understand it. She's able to communicate with them, and they speak back to her. If you were to turn on subtitles in the game, you would see that all the Corbot's lines are subtitled, but just to make it fun for players, the subtitles are actually in the Digamote language with a special character set. They look like little glyphs or symbols. We hope players will enjoy translating those. That's funny. Okay. Will there be Metroid-style progression gateways, e.g. encountering areas which you can't unlock until later using a new Corbot? Yes, absolutely. It's an element of the game which we haven't talked about so much until now. We really like to call Recore a semi-open world game. What we mean by that is that it's not an open world game like Skyrim or Red Dead Redemption, but the game world is broken up into smaller semi-open world hub areas. As you move through these areas, the first time through you'll see things that you don't have the tools to reach yet, or should I say the Corebots to reach yet. The Corebots' abilities allow you to come back and reach these spaces once you've acquired them. Sometimes these environments will contain useful power-ups or a treasure chest filled with some blueprints for some frame upgrades for your Corebots, but the most interesting contents are entrances to dungeons that you weren't able to reach before. Every one of these semi-open world areas is built around a central story dungeon, but they also filled with a handful of these challenge dungeons as well, just like in Metroid. And there's a little bit of these in Mega Man as well. We're also teasing you about the places you could go, adventures you could have if you just come back to this area later. What's the incentive for players to return to these extra areas and clear every single one of these extra dungeons? Two things. To finish the game story, the player will need to go back to a limited number of these places where they've been before to find objects to help unlock the final levels of the game. In some of the trailers that we've shown, Jolie is holding a rainbow-colored core. It turns out that these rainbow-colored cores, called prismatic cores, are keys to certain things in the world. These rainbow cores are hidden throughout and hidden in some of these challenge dungeons. Some of the other big cool things that you'll find in these dungeons are upgrades for your Corebots and armor pieces that you can craft. These armor pieces not only raise their statistics, but change the way that Corebots look and the way that they behave in combat. For players who not only want to finish the game, but really maximize their Corebots, these definitely are those rewards hidden away in the dungeons as well. There are also time challenges for these dungeons, and we think Recore really lends itself to speedruns and replay. There are just a small handful of reasons why we're hopeful that people will go back to these places. The harder, high-skill platforming sequences occur within them. And that is a wrap, guys. The stories, I didn't have a huge amount today for you, but it kind of falls into what my normal time frame, which is usually about, I don't know, 30 to 35 minutes of I usually do my news updates. Today's probably going to be a little bit shorter, but hey, whatever. So, that's a wrap on news. And as always, try to remember, guys, this week is going to be more Deus Ex. Hopefully I'll finish those uploads this week, and then the playlist will be finished, and everything will be ready to go. Fallout 4 Nuka World, and the Bioshock Collection. I cannot wait to jump into that. Bioshock, the series, I loved all of them. So I definitely cannot wait to hop back into it again. It's going to be so freaking fun. I can't wait! And then, as next week, will be Dear Esther and Virginia, September 27th. Episode 5 to Hitman Colorado. And then we'll be jumping into October, which is where things get crazy. Oh, and just for those of you that don't know, I'm sure that most of you do, but just in case. The Last Guardian got delayed. Again. Big shocker there. Now they delayed it to December 6th, 2016. So they delayed it another month. Whatever. Am I really that upset over it? No, not really. I have so many games to play between games that are coming out and games that I have for filler content. It's not going to make a difference to me. Oh, and also for you guys, just so you guys know, I do have Dying Light. I have played the game. I beat it. But when I played it, I didn't have a gaming channel. So I'm going to replay it just to put it on the channel for you guys. I also have Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light. Now again, well, okay, Metro 2033 I did play when it first came out. So that was many years ago. Now that I was able to get it and that I have a gaming channel now, I'm going to put Metro 2033 on the channel, and I'm also going to put Metro Last Light on the channel. I didn't play Metro Last Light, though. So those are another 2 games that, actually, no, I'm sorry, that's another 3 games that I need to put to the side for filler content. So eventually it'll go on the channel, guys. I don't know when. I have so much gaming content right now that I can't put everything up. It's going to take me time. So just know, guys, that I do have it. It will be going up. I just don't know when I'm going to have time to put it up. Because October is going to be busy for me. November is going to be busy for me. And December, maybe December I can do something. Because the only game in December that I can think of right now is going to be The Last Guardian. I really did want to play Dishonored before November, before Dishonored 2 came out. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I'm going to have to try and see if I can somehow squeeze that into the schedule. I just don't know how. I don't know. I'll let you guys know if I figure out how to squeeze that in, but as of right now, I don't know how I'm going to be able to squeeze that in. But whatever, nonetheless. Alright, guys. That is a wrap. I'm going to be finishing a part on Nuka World that I'm on right now, and then I'm going to jump over to Bioshock and start playing that. Alright, guys. Do me a big favor. Smash that like button for me. I hope you guys really like the show today. Obviously, please become a subscriber. Subscribe, comment, like, all that fun stuff, please. And for those that don't know, I always got content coming out, usually every day. Majority of my time, usually I get out at least 2 videos a day for you guys. And then on Sundays, I usually get out 3 or 4 because I'm more able to do that on Sundays. But for the rest of the week, I usually can only do 2 to 3. Usually 3 doesn't happen, but majority of the week I do get 2 videos out a week for you guys, and then on Sundays I'm able to usually get out like 4, sometimes even 5. But that's only on Sundays. The rest of the week I can't do it. So, alright. My name's Colin, guys, aka Mr. Cow. Take care of yourself, guys. Love ya. Deuces.